In a small village in Lira, in northern Uganda, a joyous celebration is about to take place. A bride has come back to her home village to partake in probably the most important ritual in a Ugandan marriage, the introduction, or kwanjula. The whole village is invited to witness this colourful and vibrant spectacle. Many cultural dances are proudly performed, and many gifts are exchanged between all the members of the two families. But few Ugandan weddings take place without a certain degree of negotiation, ranging from simple requests for the bride's well-being to hard-fought demands for livestock and cash for the bride's extended family. So even while the celebrations continue, the bride price, or at least the livestock part of it, needs careful inspection. Then, in a nearby house, the families meet to check that a list of demands have been met. Amid the smiles, there is often a tension that runs through the meetings. Has the price demanded for the bride been paid in full? Lists are ticked, and careful records are kept. Envelopes of money are passed from hand to hand. Once the checks are over, the groom is formally introduced and welcomed to the gathered guests, and the party can really begin. In many cases, it ends there, and the couple go on to lead happy and healthy lives. But in a striking and worryingly large number of cases, bride price can lead on to misery, poverty, submission, and violence.
You hear that part? The European and the white Western nations always trying to demonize our customs and tradition. You hear what she said? She said most of the time there is bridal issues. The person presenting the message made sure that the last thing that was mentioned there was that the bride price, most of the time, there is bridal issues. So you see why it is we shouldn't pay attention to what they are saying. We should not entertain them. I'm talking about the white Western European nations. They cannot tell us about marriages. For most, over 50% of their marriages end in divorce. Statistically speaking, in America, in England, and other European countries, over 50% of their marriages end in divorce. But we are listening to them about marriage. We are listening to them about relationship. We have to be mindful who they are. They have colonized, enslaved the Africans. And then they have taught us their way through their religion, their education system. And even when it comes to marriage, like as I said before, this is why we should not be listening to these people. Yes, they would have nothing good to say concerning our marriages. And the reason why I emphasize on these things is because our marriages, the marriage that you see there, is similar to the marriage you see in the Bible. Bride price. Bride price is a significant part of marriage. For in the biblical narrative, in the book of Genesis 24, when Abraham went to find a wife, when Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for his son, the servant went and did just that. And the servant came, and when he explained to the household that he was going to find a daughter for his son, for Abraham's son, that household, he gave the household goods in the form of livestock, gold and silver, and other valuable things as a exchange of bride price to get the daughter for his master Abraham's son. Like as I said, in other recordings, the African traditions that is practiced and the law that the Israelites kept when it comes to marriage is the same. As you see in that video, bride price was paid in the form of livestock and money. That same thing was done in the account with Abraham when he sent his servant to find a wife for his son. The bride was paid in the form of livestock and gold and silver, which was money in those days. For the tradition and the law is the same, the law and the tradition is one. And if you are not considering doing bride price, that marriage is of no value. It's better you go and do those white Western marriages, white wedding that the European and they have taught us. For bride price must be performed within marriage ceremonial.